Okay, so this is a funky vinyasa with a few balances, and if you're not having a great balancing day, which happens sometimes, you can either hold a wall or pop your tail on the floor, so you get better at what you practice, obviously. So it's a good idea not to do this one unless you've done a warm-up first, but you can do this one before the salute, before or after, but I prefer to do it before, actually. So after you've done some floor warm-ups, just kneel and stretch forward, and you're using the length of your arms to traction and lengthen your spine. So there's no point in doing something like that. You really want to make your arms as long as you can. Press the pads of your fingers into the floor and push your tummy forward to the top of the mat. If you find that's very hard on your neck, if your neck is stiff, bring your chin in and just feel as if you're pushing the back of your neck to the ceiling. And try and relax your tummy. And when you breathe in, feel as if you're breathing right from the base of your spine and in through every single vertebra. So using the breath and the arms to get a bit of extra space between all the vertebrae. So this is a nice resting pose, but you don't want to collapse and be down there. You want to keep everything working. When you're ready, come up into a cat pose and gently push your tummy forward. And when you're ready, take a little breath in. When you breathe out, bring your left arm underneath. It's really important with this one that you push the right palm or the opposite palm into the floor. Otherwise, you look like you've just done a bit of a face plant. And you can also imagine that you're pulling the shoulder, the left shoulder, to the opposite side of the mat. Add on by breathing in, stretching into the fingertips, and maybe bringing the right hand to touch the left palm, and then maybe hands in prayer. So that's a little bit stronger. So stick with that easy one if you need to. And then when you're ready, come back up into the cat. So you're pushing your tummy forward, other side. So right arm underneath, press your left palm nice and firmly into the floor. Feel as if you're trying to pull your right shoulder to the opposite side of the mat. If you want to add on, if it feels safe, you can lengthen into your left fingertips. Bring the left palm to sit on top of the right one and bend at the elbows so that your forearms are in one line between the elbows. When you're ready, back up into the cat. Push your belly forward and take it back into the down dog. Take your weight back to the heels. Gently push your tummy forward. Keep your tailbone neutral. Soften the inner elbows. When you're ready, take the weight over to the left foot and lift your right leg so as high as you can comfortably. And you want to feel as if you're trying to roll your right thigh in. That's the lifted leg. And the leg that's on the floor, feel as if you're trying to roll those thigh muscles to the opposite side. And maybe you can take your right heel over to your left bum. Relax, take the foot down and swap over. So take the right foot to the floor, lift the left leg as high as you can comfortably. Feel as if you're trying to roll your lifted thigh in from the ball and the socket. And the right thigh, the one that's on the floor, feel as if those muscles are trying to roll to the opposite side of the mat. Take your left foot to the right bottom and bring your left foot back down. When you're ready, look forward and step or spring if you're feeling energetic. Feet to the front of the mat. Bend the knees a little bit, make sure your toes are touching. And then extend into your fingers and feel as if you're just lifting a fairly heavy rock all the way up. So make sure that you haven't got your bottom sticking out. And take your upper arms so they're parallel with the floor. Let your fingertips dangle down. Gently lift your chin. And then scoop the arms forward. Stretch the palms out to the side. And bring your elbows nice and close to the side body. Roll the shoulders in. Stretch the fingers to the ceiling. Thumb and index fingers together. Come up onto the balls of the feet if you can. And then lower the heels. Roll the shoulders out. Push the heels of your hands down to the floor. Spread the fingers. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Lower the heels. Round out the back. Bring the arms forward and stretch the fingertips behind you. Again, come up onto the balls of the feet if you can. And then bringing the backs of your hands together, bring the fingers to the ceiling. Don't let your bottom stick out. Bring your hands so that they're parallel with your chest, elbows to the ceiling, armpits to the floor. Bring your chin in. I always call this movement the fancy hands movement. It's not as hard as it might seem first of all. You just got to imagine that your hands are on a pivot and it's like the hands on a clock moving in opposite directions. So just bring the right fingertips towards you, turn the left in the opposite direction, and you end up with something like that. Come up onto the balls of your feet, lower the heels, and swap over. Press the palms together, come up onto the balls of your feet, lower the heels. Turn your hands around, point your fingers to the floor, come up onto the balls of your feet. Turn your hands around, point your fingers to the floor, come up onto the balls of your feet. Turn the hands around, bring the arms up. This is trickier, it's harder. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Bend the knees a little bit. If you're feeling strong, come down further, but you've got to keep your back nice and straight so that your thighs are parallel with the floor. All the way up on the balls of the feet if you can. Lower the heels and swap over. Press the palms together. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Bend the knees a little bit. If you're feeling strong, you need to get strong, come down. Keep the back super straight so that your thighs are parallel with the floor. All the way up on the balls of your feet. Lower the heels. Point the fingers to the floor. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Bend a little bit. Or come down further if you can. Have your thighs parallel with the floor. All the way up. Lower the heels. Swap over. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Grip the knees. Come down a little bit or further if you can. All the way up. And turn the hands around. So fingertips touching, elbows up, armpits down. Bend the knees. Extend out through the crown of your head. Relax. Take a moment if you need to. Feel as if you're pushing the air away. Scoop the arms forward, lifting the collarbones, and then bring the backs of your hands together. Fingers to the ceiling. Bring the fingers to the floor and bend the knees as much as you need to. Chin. Look forward slightly. This is a half moon pose. Easy version, heel to the bottom. Harder, left leg out behind you. A little bit harder, left hand on your left hip. And super hard, or the full version, turn your tummy to the left, lengthening to the left fingertips. Grip the mat with your right foot. Make sure that your standing leg isn't locked out. To do a little add-on, you're rolling your left shoulder in, wrapping it around your waist. Bend the right leg a little bit more, the standing leg, and briefly touch your right ear or your earlobe with your right fingertips. Take your hand back to the floor, even out your hips, and take your left leg back into a super deep lunge. So you need to make sure that the toes of your front foot are in front of your knee. Come down a little bit, but try pushing the back sitting bone to the front of your mat. Sink down a little bit, resist the idea, and then when you're ready, drop the back knee to the floor. Be on the top of your back foot, squeeze it forward, bring your left arm forward, and take it around to the right side. So nice strong side stretch. Don't forget to breathe. Try and keep the arms straight. Back to the first position. Be careful with this one. Be on the little toe side of your right foot. It's a bit of an add-on. And see if you can bring the forehead down towards the floor. Lift the chest. This is an add-on as well. Come up onto the ball of the back foot. Sink into the left hand and twist to the right side. Push the right hip forward. It's a strong stretch for your hip. Then come back up. Be on the ball of your back foot, lift the back leg, maybe bring the foot a bit closer because it'll be easier. Scoop forward, stretch your hands back behind you. This is a half moon pose, but it's an unsupported version. So right fingertips to the ear, elbow to the ceiling, lean forward, lift the left leg a little bit or higher if you can. So you're aiming to get your left leg parallel with the floor. And twist. You can always bring your foot to the floor, thigh to the chest if you can. Breathe in and turn to the left side. Stretch into the heels of your hands. Maybe straighten the left leg. And then a criss-crossy stretch. So you're bringing your left foot in front of the right. Squish your feet together. Tuck forward. Turn to the left side. Imagine you're swimming to the floor. Just twice. And then a side stretch. So left hand to the floor, right hand to the ceiling. You want to feel as if you're pushing the ceiling away. Sink into the left foot, and then imagine that you're trying to reach for something at about 11 o'clock. And then touch the floor if you can. And come back to the first position. So thigh to chest, fingers touch. Try the other side. So have your feet together. Tailbone down, extend out through the crown of your head. Relax, feel as if you're pushing the air away. Scoop the arms forward. Bring the backs of your hands together, fingers to the ceiling. Bring your fingers to the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Half moon pose, easy. Right heel to the bottom, harder. Right leg out behind you. A little bit harder, right hand on your hip. And full pose, tummy to the right side, lengthening to the right fingertips. Easier to balance if you grip the mat with the left foot, keep a bend in the knee. To do a bit of an add-on, roll the right shoulder in, wrap the right arm around your waist, a bit harder, and briefly, if you can, touch the left earlobe with the left fingertips. That's super hard. Take your hands back to the floor, roll your thigh in, and when your hips are level, deep lunge. Take the right leg all the way to the back of your mat. You want the toes of the front foot in front of the knee. Scoop forward with the right sitting bone. Sink down a little bit, resist the idea of sinking down, and then let the back knee drop to the floor. Be on the top of your back foot, and when you're ready, breathe in, bring the right arm forward, and take it all the way over to the left for a deep side stretch. So really extend into your fingertips, and feel the connection between your fingertips and your hip flexor. Relax. Optional add-on, be on the little toe side of your left foot, bring your chest down, come back to the first position, lift up the back leg, sink into the right hand and turn to the left side this time, so you're pushing your hips forward. When you're ready, come back up into the lunge. Be on the ball of the back foot, lift the back knee, bring the back foot a bit closer, it's a bit easier. Scoop forward to stand up, stretch your fingertips behind. Unsupported half moon pose. So fingertips to the ear, push the right hand back, lean forward, lift the right leg a little bit or higher if you've got your balance. So you're aiming to get that right leg parallel with the floor, but don't be too ambitious. When you're ready, either bring your right thigh to the chest or toe to the floor, relax, and then breathe in, twist to the right side, stretch into the hands, maybe straighten the right leg. And then a criss-crossy stretch, right foot in front of the left, so squish your feet together, push forward, and then breathe in, turn to the right side, swim to the floor, so rolling your shoulders in, then rolling your shoulders out, and then side stretching, right hand to the floor, left palm up. Push forward, sink into the right foot, and imagine there's something that you want at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Take the right arm out behind you, maybe touch the floor if you can, and back to the first position. You should be nice and warm after you've done that one.